That dried funky. Funky. I don't know. Is it me? What am I doing wrong? I bought these from 2 different whatnot sellers. Now these were new purchased, I believe is what they said. So I know the new age stainless that they make is it's so hard to try to age. So we're going to take a can of spray paint because these toast holders, letter holders, aka us vintage lovers, butter pat holders, we're going to give them a new look. So I have ones in my collection that I've spray painted green and I love them. So that's what I'm going to do. Yes, you can do black. You can leave them the silver if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and spray paint them. This is Laurel Green. Oh, look at this piece. The two-tone, though, I'm a reseller. I'm not keeping it for myself, so I love how that is. I love how that is, and then I love the color of that. So I am going to repaint this. It's got a nice closing system on there. I'll probably take this little hardware off. But yeah, we're just going to make it our own. Give it our own little vibe. And my motivation is this color here. I love this color. If I can match up that color and then do that kind of chippiness. We'll see. Take a little air dry wood clay. Just to fill in these little holes. I think if I'm very, very careful, I can remove the glass because that would make it so much easier to paint. There we go. And these have already been painted over. I'm just going to sand it as is and see where we go from there. I need to sand the side, so I am going to have to take the hardware off. But I want to paint it the same color. So I might reattach it as I'm painting it. But to sand it, I need to take it off. Oh, I love that. I think curry and butter is what I'm thinking. We will see. Ironstone curry and butter, maybe? Don't lose the screws. Okay, we're just going to get it wiped off, get all that sanding dust off. Tried my best to sand. I kind of would like to paint that just so it just matches, especially since it's a glass front. But it's nice to have that because that helps close that door. Talk about that. You've got to keep some, if you're using milk paint and it takes so long for it to dry, that you got to pick your area of unpaintedness if you can. Even though I distress the back a little bit, once I age it with some wax or oil, we'll make it all go in together. But yeah, I need an area that is going to be unpainted to rest on while the rest of the paint is drying. So I'm using some shellac as a primer on this piece. That way when I go to use milk paint on it, it's not just soaking into the raw wood that I've exposed. Okay, time to get creative because I don't have any curry on hand that I wanted to match up with. So we're going to start off with Hollandaise. And then we're looking for the undertone. So I'm going to do some suitcase. Darken it up. I don't think I need the ironstone because I didn't know if it would be too dark. But no, I think. Okay. So I have those, and I might grab just a tad of red. For, you know, there's a little red warm undertone to it. Ah! Okay, I'm going for that. I'm not going to add anything else. Whatever this is, whatever this concoction is that's what it's going to be. I don't even know how many scoops I added in. It's all good. Definitely not more than that. Yeah, so it's like a brownish yellow. I'm going to go in with some Sweet Pickins beeswax. I don't want it to stick. I'd like to see the underneath color. Just remembering to go over it only once. I have that problem. Like, oh, I can't see it, so I must need to go over it again. And then next thing I know, I have too much. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. The knife's just helping hold it up. I mean, I love that already. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Do the hard areas first. Mine may be a little bit browner. Old timey colors, you know. Painting right over the hardware. Oop, I saw a hair. There. No, still there. Hello, get out. And that, folks, is how you get paint all over yourself, right? Chasing after. That's probably from my shellac. Come on. I feel like one coat is going to be perfect for this. But don't you know, we're just going to take the tape off and start sanding and see what we got. Okay, now should I write that color down? Because that color is really pretty. So we're going in with Sweet Pickins and dark oil wax to seal the milk paint in. Not as much of the wax came off as I thought it would. Or, well, you know, where I put the wax, the paint kind of just stayed. So I was able to, I think it's a pretty close color match. Like I said, it's probably a little bit more brown than the yellow, but they had curry, probably would have been more yellow, but it's all good. I think it's gorgeous. It's a nice piece. Just kind of take what you're given sometimes. And I'm glad I was able to get a hold of this. I bought it on a Whatnot. It was part of her personal collection. She was ready to like a lot of us, change out the decor and get something different in that place. And see, by not, even though we didn't paint the backs, I sanded the back and then putting the oil on the back will just bring it all together. Look at how it's going into that raw wood. Not that it was dirty, it was just dirty from me being in my shop while I was working on stuff. Handy dandy tool. So I just used those to hold it in place. Now I have these little anchors, as you can see that, and I'm afraid that they would go loose. So we're going to go ahead and I think these will be a little bit tighter. Now I'll feel a little bit better. So I recently did one of these little paper towel holders, and I just happened to be in a shop and she had done one too. Now she had it hanging on like this, so you could use it as a paper towel, but I'm actually going to make it a shelf sitter. The green is a great base for me. You know, I love chippy. You know, when you're buying something, it's making it your own. It's painted beautifully. There's nothing wrong with this. Is not what I'm saying. I'm saying we are doing stuff to make it our own, doing our own personal little twist on these. So, oh, hello. I'm gonna take the drawers out first. This one looked like it was definitely raw wood. And then take the little, it's got that cute little thing to hold the dowel in. And then I'm going to remove these to make it so it just sits on the shelf. It sits on something on your counter. Still keeping it so you could use it for decor or paper towel. As a painter, I think I see the whole world as like a project piece. Putting your own twist on something. And it's never about that the job was bad. I don't want anybody to ever think that. I just like to paint stuff. It looks like at one time somebody hung it on the wall by putting nails in it. We might fill those holes. Screws, probably screws, I would think. Oh, you know, oh, it's the back and then it's the inside. I'll see if the DAWS fills that in or not, if that's too big of a hole or not. I am not sure. Good wood filler. So I'm just going to, yeah, so, and it dries really fast. You know, it's all about time. So yeah, I think that should just fill in those little holes. I would like to change out the knobs, so I'm just going to take a hammer. They should, I think they're just doweled in. Other than I'm just going to scuff sand it. I don't know if there's a top coat on here or not. We're just going to sand it just a little bit to give it a scuff sanding for when I paint it, for my paint to stick. Okay, I'm going to wipe it down, just get the sanding dust off there. And then I like to tape off for the front faces, and I think I'm just going to keep that little fun green detail on the side because I'm going to do something that coordinates the color. So I'm going to prime these using some Extra Bond. So just poured some out in a cup. You know me, I like that crackling finish. So I thought, oh, this green would be a great undercolor to peek through. Okay, yes, I am doing the crackling milk paint we're going to start off with, which I think the underneath color will look wonderful with it. So we're going to do pantry door. Need a bit, half a scoop of in a pickle and half a scoop of basil because they're both very potent. And we're going to stir that up and see what that looks like. Yeah, yep, little old-timey green there. As I said, we were just making these our own little personal style. You know, I have people send me pictures of items that they bought for me that they have repainted of my own, and I'm never offended. We all want to fit it into our house. We all want to fit it into our vibe. There's just something, it just makes it feel like it's your own. Especially when it comes to painted pieces and I have a craft booth, you know, I don't want to sell somebody else's work. I'm not putting my signature on there, my stamp on there if it isn't something that I did. We are dry. See, I think that'll be a nice one if it cracks. If it, you know, you're like, please crack, and then the color coincides with what is already there. So not to be too far off of what was already there, just looking for that type of paint that I like to do. Have the little bitty piece. This is what I don't understand what Extra Bond does. It does this separation of like oil and vinegars not mixing, even though the Extra Bond is dry. And I have not had anybody answer me that question yet, if that happens to them or if it's just something I'm doing. I don't know what I could be doing, but it makes me have to do 2 coats. So I'm not going to put it on. It's not doing it on the drawers for whatever reason, but it's doing it on this piece. Go figure. You never know. So this is what I mean. Why does Extra Bond do that to me? So I'm actually going to go over with shellac. I'm going to sand this. Yeah, I don't like how that dried. That dried funky. Funky. I don't know. Is that me? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong with Extra Bond? Luckily, it's just paint. It just sands off, but I definitely did not like the chunkiness of how that all pooled together and dried. So I'm just going to go over it with shellac. Okay, repaint. It's all good. The shellac is dry. I don't know why that separates on me sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. It definitely did huge on this piece. Not make any sense to me. Luckily, I had plenty of paint mixed up. Remember, it's just paint. Two coats of paint later, there we are. I'm going to go ahead and sand it a little bit. Wanted a little bit more my personality in the piece. We're going to be using some Sweet Pickins dark wax. I want to do the inside if I can get to it, so I'm going to pour some out in a cup. Just because it's so raw of wood. Oh, see, and it goes. It's like a nice little hidden surprise having the two-tone colors on there. See, just a little age. Can't help it. They're just so darn cute, and I have them, so I definitely like those. And that's why I left the hole. Okay, so my screws, I'm just putting screws in, so take a little bit of soot. I can't find the link to this. Where I got it, Painted Heirlooms. Either no longer carrying it or it's out of stock. But I just use it just to take the shininess down of the new little screws.